I'm not a big fan of the 2019 quarterback class. I don't think it's very good. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to mention some of the players that are being mentioned, tell you who I do like and who could potentially be an okay player. And there are some guys I'm really not excited about that I don't believe in. So I think first we should start with Drew Lock. Drew Lock is a quarterback at Mizzou. He's a really big kid, really strong arm, one of the stronger arms in college football next year. I'm interested in Drew Lock. I want to watch Drew Lock. He could turn into something I really like. So we have Drew Lock from Mizzou. You have Will Grier from West Virginia. Will Grier doesn't have a lot of playing time, but I do like some of the flashes he's shown. Pay attention to Drew Lock. And the other one, there's two more. Jarrett Stidham from Auburn. I like Jarrett Stidham. I don't think he's great. I think he's really inconsistent, but he's okay. He's worth paying attention to. And then Justin Herbert, the 6'6" quarterback from Oregon. 6'6", 230. I've met him a couple times. He's from my home state. Really nice guy. Great work ethic. He's got prototypical skill set. He's a big guy, can run a little bit, can move. Really good arm. Kind of like a poor man's Sam Darnold, honestly. And he's a junior. So the key was both Drew Lock and Justin Herbert. So Justin Herbert's going to be a junior. And if it looks like he could be the number 1 overall pick, he might leave. If he's not, I would stay because I think Justin Herbert has a long way to go. So these are my 4 quarterbacks I like. Drew Lock, Will Grier, Jarrett Stidham, and Justin Herbert. Those 4 guys I think are not bad. I don't love them though. I don't think they're franchise quarterbacks. I think they're potential prospects to pay attention to. There's only 4 quarterbacks I really like for next year's draft class. It's those 4. Those are the 4 I'm going to pay attention to. Everybody else, I could care less. And I'm going to talk about those guys next. The first one I'm hearing about is Shay Patterson. Shay Patterson is a quarterback at Michigan. I think Shay Patterson is going to be very, very successful at Michigan. I honestly think Shay Patterson could be the difference between Michigan having some success and Michigan winning a national championship. I think that highly of Shay Patterson. He's a really good college quarterback. Really good college quarterback. He's a great guy. He doesn't have NFL arm strength. He doesn't have NFL accuracy, and he honestly has a lot of Johnny Manziel comparisons. Johnny Manziel was great in college, but in the reality of professional football, Johnny Manziel's basically irrelevant. He doesn't matter. And I think Shay Patterson is very similar, where he's a weaker armed quarterback who can run around a little bit, but he's not real accurate. I don't love his throwing motion. I've watched him throw. I'm really not in love with the way he throws the ball. And so I'm not a big fan of Shay Patterson. The other guy, again, there's a couple guys that are just not great. I mean, I gave you everybody those are the top 5 quarterbacks everybody's talking about. There are other names I'm being told to pay attention to, like Brian Lewerke from Michigan State. I don't care. Clay Thorson from Northwestern. I don't know who that is. I'm not very interested in him. I think Brian Lewerke, I don't know much about Clay Thorson. I'm not very educated on him. I know Brian Lewerke. I don't think he's very good. I watched him play against Washington State last year. Not a fan. Ryan Finley from NC State, I know very little about, but I know that he's mentioned in some top 10s, but not others, and that's concerning. And that's what's kind of weird to me is if you look at the top 10 lists for the 2019 draft class, you're getting so many different names. And what that tells me, there's not a lot of clarity. Beyond the top 5, beyond, again, Herbert, Drew Lock, Will Grier, Jarrett Stidham, and Shay Patterson, beyond those 5, all the other names are completely almost random. And that's weird to me. Why is there not a consistent top 10? Why is there not a couple names that are really worth paying attention to? Everybody else, if you're not in the top 5, I don't care about you. Like Brett Rippon from Boise State. He's struggled to be the full-time starter at Boise State. He's got a weak arm. I don't believe in him. Jake Browning, the quarterback from UW. He's a weird guy. I have friends at UW. They know him. They've met him. Jake Browning's a weird guy. He does weird people skills, and he's not a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's a solid quarterback in college, but he doesn't have NFL arm strength, and I'm not a real believer in Jake Browning. I don't think he has it. Arizona's Khalil Tate. Someone mentioned that in the comments. Khalil Tate isn't even eligible until the 2020 NFL draft. So forget about Khalil Tate. He might actually win the Heisman, but I don't think he has Kevin Sumlin next year. I think that's exciting. It's going to be fun to watch Khalil Tate. But Khalil Tate won't be in the NFL draft. And there's some other names that are even more concerning. There's 2 names I keep seeing in top 10s when you look up, 2019 QB class top 10s. There's a couple names I just don't like at all. The first one is Nick Fitzgerald. Nick Fitzgerald is the quarterback at Mississippi State. He's a run-first quarterback. His strength is running, not throwing. How many times has that guy succeeded in the NFL? Remember Tim Tebow? Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm not a big fan of Nick Fitzgerald. It seems like a nice kid. I'm not trashing the guy, but he's not an NFL quarterback. He might be a better tight end than he would be an actual quarterback. So I'm not a big believer of Nick Fitzgerald. There's another name that's concerning, and it's not concerning because I don't believe in the guy. It's concerning for this reason. People are talking about Jacob Eason jumping into the 2019 draft class. I think Jacob Eason is going to be a great, great NFL quarterback in the 2021 NFL draft class. Right now, Jacob Eason has to sit out a year. He can't even play at UW because he transferred. Jake Browning's going to be the starter at UW. The fact that people are bringing up Jacob Eason's name for the 2019 NFL draft class is just proof of how bad next year's draft class is. No knock on Jacob Eason. Jacob Eason's going to be a great quarterback. Huge arm, smart guy, good work ethic. I like him. I believe in him. But he's not even going to play this year, and he keeps being brought up on top 10 draft lists. That is a problem. And in fact, they even mentioned, it's not like people that make the list aren't aware. They write, he's ineligible to play, but he might be one of the better quarterbacks in the draft class. That is how bad the draft class is. There's just not a lot of talent. It's concerning, man. Again, pay attention to the four guys worth paying attention to. Drew Lock, Jarrett Stidham, Will Grier, and Justin Herbert. Maybe one of them will develop into something more. But the truth is, the 2019 draft class just doesn't have very much. There's not a lot of great, quote, franchise quarterbacks. And honestly, the 2019 NFL draft class for quarterbacks reminds me of the 2007 NFL draft class, where there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 quarterbacks drafted, and none of them were a franchise quarterback. You know, someone mentioned in the comments, by the way, someone put in a comment that, the 2013 draft class was worse than the 2007 draft class. No, they weren't. 2013 wasn't great, but let me read you some names. Geno Smith, E.J. Manuel, Mike Glennon, Matt Barkley, Landry Jones. None of those are great quarterbacks, but at least they're in the league. At least they're backups that contribute to teams. Here's how bad the 2007 draft class was. Jamarcus Russell, Kevin Kolb, Brady Quinn, John Beck. Here might be the two best is Drew Stanton and Trent Edwards. That's pathetic. Drew Stanton is 20 touchdowns and 24 interceptions in his NFL career. He might be the best quarterback from the 2007 draft class. That's terrible. Isaiah Stanback was drafted. Jeff Rowe, Troy Smith, Tyler Thigpen, and Jordan Palmer. Jordan Palmer might have the most impact from the 2007 draft class because he trains the young rookie quarterbacks now. He trained Sam Darnold. He trained Josh Allen. But honestly, man, I think that the 2019 draft class, to put our focus back on that, is really in trouble. It's not a great draft class. There's only 4 guys even worth paying attention to, and those guys have very significant flaws. So I'm not a big fan. I think somewhere between the 2007 draft class and the 2013 draft class, somewhere between terrible and not great is where terrible and pretty bad. How about it? Terrible and pretty bad. That's where the 2019 draft class will fall. There might not be a single franchise quarterback in next year's draft class. So if you're the Giants, if you're the Buccaneers, if you're looking for a quarterback next year, buyer beware. It's not a good year for quarterbacks. It's very concerning. It's a story worth following. Look, I'm not rooting against any of these guys. I'm excited to watch them. I'm excited to see how they develop. But the honest truth is, you ask for my honesty. I can't lie to you. I want to tell you exactly how I feel. And I'm very nervous about the 2019 NFL draft quarterback class. It's not looking very good. So I'll pay attention, man. Again, watch Drew Lock, watch Will Grier, watch Justin Herbert, watch Jarrett Stidham from Auburn. Those 4 quarterbacks are worth paying attention to this year in college football. And I think Khalil Tate will win the Heisman. But other than that, it's not good. And Khalil Tate isn't eligible for the 2020 NFL draft class. So it's very concerning. 2019's NFL draft class is really not good. I think a really bad quarterback, a quarterback that's not ready to play and won't be ready to play for a while, will be the number 1 pick. And Josh Allen was the guy I was really concerned about. Between Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, or Sam Darnold, any one of those quarterbacks would easily be the best quarterback in next year's draft class. No questions about it. Lamar Jackson would have been the number 1 overall pick if he was a 2019 quarterback. That's the honest truth. That is how concerning the 2019 NFL draft class is for quarterbacks. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember, if you want to help Strong Opinion Sports grow, you can share this with your friends on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about this show. And always remember, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, everywhere you can find a podcast, as well as YouTube. My full entire podcast is on YouTube, as well as shorter, more interesting clips like this. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and take care. Bye.